Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and as you can see, I am in front of the camera this time, and it's kind of weird. So I don't have a whole lot of space to be doing all of this. The HasLab Sentinel is just quite massive, so this is kind of the best thing I can do to try and make this work, I think. So lighting is probably terrible, but hopefully when I get the figure out, you guys could clearly see it. From what I could tell, it looks like there's enough light on me anyway, and I know I got dual shadows going, but the HasLab Marvel Legends Sentinel. So it's been a long time coming. It's been a year plus. I got tracking, you know, a little over a week ago or whenever it was, and then a couple of days went by, nothing. It was just label created, and then all of a sudden at like midnight on a Friday, it was picked up. The FedEx had picked it up, and it was officially on its way. And then it takes, you know, to get from East Coast, it was coming from Georgia, so kind of the East Coast over to California, it takes about a week. And so a couple of days in, it said it was on its way to somewhere in Arkansas. I'm like, cool. Regular updates, that'd be awesome. And there was not a single update. It was expected yesterday. Yesterday came and went, and it said delay. I'm like, well, of course. And then later that night, it actually arrived at that particular FedEx facility. I'm like, oh boy, it's gonna come tomorrow. And it showed today's date, September 11th. And then this morning, it said it was put on a truck for delivery. So I'm thinking, awesome. But then it said expected delivery date of Monday. I'm thinking, come on. But it did arrive. The FedEx did come. You guys, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see I've already had posted a few pictures of it and whatnot. So we're going to try and get to this. So I'm sitting down at my table. The box is here next to me, and I can use it as an armrest. That is how large this box is. I honestly don't know if it's going to be in frame right now or not. Once it's on my table, see, and it's not. This is how big this damn box is. Like, this is insane. I can't, it's absolutely crazy how big this is. I've already taken it out of the box, but man, like, it is just crazy. But the artwork is amazing. Look at everything on the box, on the side there. The front, or I don't know if it's the front or the back, doesn't really matter, but the Sentinel looking pretty amazing there. And then here, we get some more Sentinels on that side. And then here on the back, I think there was Magneto on there. I can't really remember off the top of my head. We got Magneto. No, Magneto was on the other side. We got Wolverine, we got Bastion. Pretty crazy. Like, this thing is insane. So the box is absolutely massive, but that's not what you guys are here to see. You guys are here to see the actual Sentinel itself. So, let's get to that. Okay, so here it is laid out in the foam. I had already kind of opened it, so I'm not going to show you guys. Chances are you've seen Facebook posts or other Instagram posts, or even on YouTube, you'd see all this, right? There's this plastic insert piece here. That is what holds everything in place, because nothing's really like snapped in. It's, you know, you don't have that plastic where it's all pushed in and things like that. But everything is together here, as you can see. So I've already had taken the Sentinel out earlier, but what I haven't done is taken out any of the other things. So let's take a look at some of this stuff. So here, holy crap, we have the Master Mold head. This thing is heavy. Wow. I did not realize it would be this heavy, and it's quite large, as you can see there. So there is that head. This was that bonus because there were so many backers that Hasbro wasn't really ready for it. They gave us an extra bonus 4th tier, which was the Tri-Sentinel Head. So, you know, there was one head there. There was another head there. And then there's another head there. So, really cool. I'll try to get in close-ups of all these things so you guys can see it. We have a battle-damaged head. This one's pretty awesome looking. It's a little bit smaller. It looks to be the same size as the regular Sentinel head. The Master Mold head, naturally just a little bit bigger. Be careful, there's some sharp pieces on that battle-damaged head. Next, we have the battle-damaged hand. This is really cool. So we didn't actually get articulated fingers this time around. It makes sense because it's just battle damage. You know, we really wouldn't need articulated fingers at that particular moment. Yeah, not articulated at all. The tentacles, originally it was supposed to only come with one tentacle, But as a bonus, it did so well, they said, you know what, instead of one, we're going to do two, which, duh, I mean, one for each hand, right? So we got the 2 tentacles there. Here we have the Bastion figure and the alternate Sentinel Prime head sculpt there. So that is pretty cool. I would have loved if Hasbro would have packaged these in with like their own Marvel Legends packaging. That would have been really amazing if they had done that. And then here we have the female Sentinel Prime figure. And there it is. So that is all the additional accessories and whatnot. Next thing is to get this Sentinel out of the package. And this thing's big. It's heavy. So one hand ain't gonna cut it. You gotta lift this bad boy up with 2 hands to really get him out of the package. And here he is. And is he in full frame? I think so, or just about. Yeah, this thing is crazy. So here's the Bastion figure. So think about that. Regular standard 6-inch Marvel Legends figure next to this Sentinel. It's crazy. Now, before I get into all the articulation and all of that and try to zoom and figure out how I'm going to zoom, come back and forth with the camera and everything, everyone's going to ask, how are the knees, how are the knees, how are the knees, right? As soon as I posted on Instagram that I had it, everyone said, well, how are the knees? Mine don't seem to really have a problem. Now, I know a lot of folks did, but mine is okay. So if you look at that knee, it's going to droop down a little bit, but it's not falling over like others. So there's a couple of things. So that upper knee, there's no ratcheting in that upper knee, but it's not real loose, as you could see, right? You can adjust it at certain points, right? The lower knee does have a little bit of ratcheting, only a little bit though. It's very soft, but you can feel it. But again, here is mine. The leg is just not dropping. Now, if you shake it, oh, look at that, then this starts to go down. But you're not going to, that's not what you're going to be doing with your figure, right? So mine, again, not a real issue, and I can adjust it. Look at that. And it's holding. So not so much an issue for mine. That doesn't mean I'm going to say free range that there won't ever be issues or over time it won't affect it. You know, obviously things like that could happen. It can be a little bit wobbly. You don't want to lean him back. He's not Fat Joe. Don't lean him and he won't fall over. So there's those things to consider. So here's my Sentinel. And then let's see what we could do about zooming in to see the details and all of that. We'll get right to it. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is a very difficult task of trying to review this figure, because in order to even get it in frame, it has to be far away. So if I have to, like, there's just, I would need like a second person to work the camera and zoom in and know what it is that I'm trying to do. But bear with me through this video as I try to do it. Here I have a certain lens that I can't really bring it a whole lot forward because then it's going to get blurry, but I can get it provides a little bit of a close-up so you can see kind of how the Sentinel looks. So I'm going to kind of pan down here on my tripod so you could see some of the additional details throughout. Normally I would hold the figure and I would turn it and kind of point out some things. It's just really hard to do that on this guy. Looking at kind of the waist and the hip, I love the details in there. We get some painted wires. It's not all painted, as you can see. There's a lot of gray in there, but there are some wiring that is painted, and it looks like it's painted pretty well. I mean, I see one wire that's like orange here, but then it just kind of hides in there. So it's not, I guess, the most detailed, because I could see some of that wire. They just kind of stopped the paint. But it looks like it's all kind of mixed up with all the different wiring and things that are going on in there. You know, like we get a blue wire on this side. But looking at the hips, there's crazy detail in those hips as well. And you can see some of the wiring and stuff that goes on the inside of there. As I try and pan down while I kind of lower the camera, and you could see kind of the legs and everything of this guy. It's just nuts. I mean, it's so hard for me to properly show you guys everything about the figure, but we'll start at the feet and looking at the back of the figure, and we'll work our way back on up slowly so you can see the details.
while trying to work the tripod this way. Looking at the details of those hips on the back of the leg looks really cool. Looking at the back of the Sentinel, lots of painted detail on there for like the wiring and stuff. So that is really nice. I like the way that all came out looking. That is very cool. And as we pan up to the back piece, this is where you would change the battery. So you just kind of lift up on it below and kind of pull back on it on the top. And then we have our battery compartment there. Hold on. We have our battery compartment there. So you just need a Phillips screwdriver, and it takes 2 AAA batteries, so you could do the light up feature. But that's it. Let's see what else I can get on the video for you guys. Okay, so here's the detail of each head sculpt. So here is the regular head sculpt on there. It is just on a ball peg, so you're not going to really get, there's no hinge, so you're not going to get much up and down motion, but you do get a full swivel. You just kind of have to watch how you're swiveling it and scraping up against other parts of the figure. We're going to pull it off. I want to go slow and make sure you're holding onto the figure to stabilize it, because it's on this massive ball peg there where you can see the LED lights in there. So like if I turn it on, you have the lights that come through there. So that is kind of interesting and pretty cool. We'll change the different colors and kind of that flashing version. But again, here is that regular head sculpt. Nice up close look to it. Looks really good. I like the wiring and stuff that you can see in there. Looks like they only painted 1 wire on each side. But it looks pretty good. They actually sculpted in some wires and gears and things like that on the inside, so that's pretty cool. You see where the light comes through on there. Let's grab the battle damaged head sculpt. This one looks pretty awesome. Love the way like the explosion, like it left it all burnt and stuff there. All the scrapes and cuts, they gave it that metal look. That all looks awesome. Not a whole lot on the back. But here, we got some sharp edges too, so be careful there. Yeah, it looks really good. Looks like some blast holes there. Pretty awesome. Cracked there, and you actually painted in some silver. Love how that looks. So to put that onto the figure, so there's all the way down. I guess you could, if you wanted to, you could have it up a little bit higher, and that will allow you to kind of get it to look down or to look up. So you actually can do that. So instead of a hinge, you have that. Oh, there goes one of my lights. Fell right off the table. So the light up effect, looks like the light up effect actually only comes through on one side. It's not going to come through on this side. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, let's see the Tri-Sentinel Head now. So here we have the Tri-Sentinel Head, and this looks pretty awesome. As you can see, there's one there. I like the way that looks. It has that nice red into the white. It's like red, orange, white to kind of have a glow effect. That looks really cool. Here, you can just see a lot of cabling and stuff. We have this like gunmetal metallic steel color there. Another gold face, some gold trim in there. That looks really good. And it looks like the lights should shine through on each of those. Oh, you look at that. The neck actually does have a swivel in there. So that is kind of cool. Really shouldn't have to swivel that. You should just kind of be able to leave that on its own. This head is a little bit bigger, so we're going to attach it on there. The swivel actually works out quite nicely. So turn on the lights so you can see the lights there. Turn it around. The lights are only going to come through on like one. Actually, well, I'm looking at this side and I can actually see some of the light shine through there, but really the lights are only going to shine through on one of the heads at a time, the way the light system is designed. So that's pretty cool. We've got one more head to look at, which is the Master Mold head. I actually like this head sculpt quite a bit. And it's heavy. It's a hefty boy. So it looks awesome. I love the metal, the metallic steel color there. Purple. We got some red in there. It's just sculpted nicely, and it's huge. It's quite large, as you could see. Like compared to the regular Sentinel head, to the Master Mold head, it's got some crazy size to it. So let's get a Tri-Sentinel head popped off there. Let's get the Master Mold head placed on there. As you can see, I'll have to move it back because it's beefy, but I really like the way it looks on the figure. I think it looks fantastic, actually. And it's probably my best look, my favorite look for the Sentinel with the Master Mold head on there. Because if you have like the Marvel Universe Sentinels or like the Toy Biz Build-A-Figure Sentinel, this could be your Master Mold, and those could be the Sentinels that the Master Mold is creating. So looking at the different features. But yeah, this looks pretty good. This head is so large you can actually get some hinge with it. It's just on that ball peg, so you get some pivot. You look down, you could turn it and everything like that. But yeah, Master Mold head is actually my favorite. Looks the best, and it's massive. So again, for size comparison, here is the regular head sculpt and next to that Master Mold. So that is pretty crazy. And it does that when the lights turn off, so that's pretty cool. Okay, looking at the details of that center plate piece, we have a red color. You just press it to keep changing the color. So it goes to like a bright white color, and then it'll adjust its colors. So here, I guess it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of an orangish green color. And then it goes to a bright green color, as you can see there. So that's all the different color eyes and stuff that you had seen. That's what it was. So just crazy details throughout this figure. Let's see if I can kind of pick him up so you could see. It's just kind of nuts all around. He's just so damn heavy to lift with one hand. But yeah, just kind of insane. So we're going to kind of go through this video this way. I think I kind of got the groove of how I'm going to be doing the articulation segment. So let's first start. I think I kind of went over the head already, right? We swivel. It's just on a ball peg. There's no hinges or anything like that, but how you sit it on the ball peg will adjust. But we can look at the arms a bit. So the shoulder, so this part is attached with like a rubber type piece of material, so you can see it can kind of come up. You can kind of squeeze it around, but you can get the Sentinel arm to go straight out like so. You see, you can do a full rotation. The shoulder pad does move with the arm, so that is awesome. I really like that. That is really cool. Now the bicep of the Sentinel, we have the upper bicep swivel, so you can see there. We can twist it around all we want. We have a double jointed elbow, which doesn't give us huge range of motion, but you get that much bend there. So about 90, I would say, or so. And then looking at the wrists, so the hands, they are on a ball peg swivel, and they do hinge, as you can see. And then the fingers are all articulated. So there's some crazy articulation just in the fingers. So you could actually get a swivel there at the thumb. I think each finger actually has a swivel. And then you can see they're all done in kind of that bluish purpley color. But notice the grays on each spots for each one of the knuckles. That's where we're going to get the different points of articulation. So, you know, the thumb you can bend like so. And then even at the thumb, so just like here on a real thumb, you have this hinge that goes into the palm, so you can move that thumb around. So that is pretty cool. So each finger, again, gets crazy articulation. So if you wanted to make a fist, you can make a fist like so. That is pretty cool. The forearm, we got this flap here. I don't know exactly what it is, but we get this nice gunmetal in there. It looks like a vent. That can kind of move around, so if you wanted to hinge the wrist back a little bit, that does kind of move with it. Not a whole lot, but it does. So that is the shoulder, elbow, wrist and hand articulation. So now we'll move over into the central part of the body, so the upper diaphragm and the waist. So I know it sucks not being able to see the entire figure to see how it looks when we kind of do those adjustments. So the upper torso is a diaphragm joint. So he can pivot to the side very little. So that's pivoting to the left. Pivot to the right, very little, but it does pivot somewhat. Now, front and back is going to be a little bit tricky. You got to be careful not to lean him because, again, those upper knees kind of might give out. We have the inverted ab crunch, and I'm trying not to use that, and I'm trying to just specifically go for the diaphragm joint, but that's kind of tricky, so I guess we just have to kind of do it together. So you can lean it back, that upper body like so, and you can lean him forward a little bit there. Not a whole lot that you could do. So, and then again, you want to be careful with the legs because it's those upper knees that are the real problem and culprit. So you can get some twist on that diaphragm joint. It just takes a little bit of muscle to really hold it in place to do it. So again, you get some, but God, it's really difficult, and kind of the way I'm trying to show you guys on camera. So again, you can get some twist going on there, but it's really not a whole lot. So just heads up on that. Okay, so that is the torso articulation. So the legs, I haven't figured out how I'm going to record that. Let me play around with it and see first. Okay, so here I'm going to show you guys the articulation in the leg. So I'm going to have to get back in front of the camera to try and show this off. So the leg can come straight out. You can kick forward that much. And again, you could see my knee is not falling, but at the hip, it's wanting to go down because this knee is very heavy. So again, I do not have a problem with my knee just drooping down and falling. If you shake it, yeah, it might start to do that. Again, there's a little bit of ratcheting in the lower knee. It's the upper knee that has no ratchet really at all. And as you can see, mine, it really don't have the same problem that others have. I could be fortunate. This could wear out in time. I don't know. So just a heads up on that. There is a thigh swivel. As you can see there, we get a double jointed knee like so. And then as far as the feet, we get a hinge down that much. Not really a hinge up because it's kind of flat already. And then there's this piece here that kind of moves up and down. So like, I don't know if that's, see, we want to lean back because of those upper knees. It's the upper knees that are the problem. So I guess if you hinge the foot down, you kind of move that with it, I guess. But it has that piece there. And then we'll stand them up. So again, I don't have a problem with the lower knees. The upper knees are a problem. But this is a heavy ass figure. I don't know if anybody realized, like, this, I think FedEx said the total box and everything was 30 pounds. So this figure by itself, and I don't have a way of being able to weigh it out. This figure itself is probably close to 20 pounds. Maybe not that much, but 15 to 20 pounds, this figure. Like, it's going to be hard for anything to really hold up this kind of weight. So I would not put this guy on a top shelf. I would not put him on maybe a medium shelf. He should go down on a lower shelf or the floor maybe. And I think for a lot of people, just because of space, like, he's not going to fit on any damn shelf at this height. So it might be something where you have him displayed on the floor safely, that if he takes the tumble, he'll be okay. Or if he does take a tumble, you may permanently want to go with the battle damage look of the head and the hand. That could be an option. I haven't even switched out the hand yet, so I guess we could check that out now. I'm assuming you just kind of pull on it, just like so. You get that hand, and we get that battle damaged hand. Just port that in. The battle damaged hand only has the
the wrist hinge, and then of course it swivels. The fingers are not articulated. They don't even twist or turn or anything like that. So it is very different. Very, very different. And you can see the inside of the hand. You wouldn't even be able to use one of the tentacles on that hand. And while I have it here in front of the video, let's check out one of these tentacles while we're at it. Now, I believe these have bendy wire in them, so you can wrap up mutants. You know, a mutant's going to be detected, and you can wrap them up with the tentacle to capture them. As I have the most difficult time just getting these things out of the plastic. Here we go. So yeah, it kind of has this flat edge, two flat edges to it, so it's rounded there. So kind of like almost a triangular shape. So we do have bendy wire, so you could do some crazy things like that. Or if you wanted to wrap it around a figure type of thing, you can do things like that. And the way this works is you just have this peg there at the end. The hands have this open port right there. I got a feel for it because I can't see it. It's opposite of me. And you could just port it on in there, and he can try and capture himself a mutant. I have Mojo here. This is a Toy Biz figure. Obviously, you know, he probably wouldn't go after Mojo. I don't know if they've ever really been in a panel together, Sentinel and Mojo. I have the Bastion figure and the lady, the female Sentinel Prime and the Sentinel Prime head. I'm probably going to do a separate video for these two figures because this thing was kind of a beast all on its own, trying to figure out how to actually do this review. My apologies if it's terrible, but I tried. I gave up for a short time and went on the couch. Shout out to the Tuesday crew for helping, giving me some encouragement to get back at it. And hopefully I put a video together that's kind of easy to understand-ish, if that helps. I do want to do some size comparison, so I have to open my Days of Future Past Sentinel. Mine is sealed. So I'm going to open that up so I can bring out that Sentinel so you can see a size comparison. It'll probably be something like this, where you're not going to see the whole Sentinel in frame because that's damn near impossible. But you'll be able to see the Sentinel, how high that Sentinel is actually going to come up to him. And then we'll do a couple of things. So I have, I don't have the Toy Biz Sentinel Build-A-Figure. I have that KO that was sent to me to review, the one that you can get on eBay. I believe they were about the same height. It is not the same quality of figure, not really the same type, but it's more of an homage, I would say. It has similar look and things like that. But here you can see how tall this Sentinel comes up to the HasLab Sentinel, which is barely to his waist. So there's that. And fun fact, this thing's got some pretty bad knees on him. So it's a Sentinel thing, maybe? I don't know. And then for a quick comparison here is the Marvel Universe Galactus. We know that the HasLab Galactus will be towering over the Sentinel, and the Sentinel's already pretty damn big enough, so I can't imagine how much more difficult the HasLab Galactus figure is going to be to review. It's going to be damn near impossible, I think. But this guy comes up to about the light up button on him, which is pretty crazy. So, you know, you got to go up another 6 inches or so, or whatever it is, to reach up to the Sentinel height. So let me stop the video here, and then let me get out that Marvel Universe Sentinel so we can see that size comparison. Okay, so here is the Marvel Universe Sentinel, or what was once the Marvel Universe Sentinel. It was reissued in the Marvel Legends line as part of an Amazon exclusive box set. It came with Wolverine as part of the X-Men Days of Future Past set. Seeing them side by side, you can see he only comes up to about the waist of the HasLab Sentinel, which is pretty crazy. I like the way the colors kind of match each other, though. So if you had your Master Mold head sculpt on this guy, you know, it could be the Master Mold for this particular Sentinel as I reach and grab for it. So let's kind of do that. So here we can have our Master Mold along with our Sentinel, and that's pretty good. The colors don't exactly match. We get a darker purple or more of a, yeah, I would say a darker purple compared to this one. But I do like the way the colors kind of work together. I really like the Master Mold head sculpt on here. Initially, I thought the head looked just too big, but having it in hand, it's really not that bad. It looks really good to me, and the fact that we can actually, you know, get him to look up and down without adjusting the head sculpt on that ball peg is pretty cool. So, you know, again, you can have your Master Mold, and then you can have your Sentinel, or if you have the Toy Biz one, or multiple Toy Biz ones, or the Marvel Universe one, which had a little bit of a different color scheme, colorway to it, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, size difference is pretty crazy. So there we go. And I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I tried to give you guys as in-depth a review as I could. And it's just crazy difficult with how large this figure is. It's just... It's insane. The details on this guy are pretty awesome. I love the cables, the coils, the wiring, and everything that's throughout the figure. It looks really good. It really pops. Are the knees a problem? Yes. The upper knees are a problem. The lower knees really are not a problem. This figure is just so damn heavy. They could have used like deep ratcheting in the knees. You know, it's easy for us to say they could have done this. I don't know from an engineering standpoint how feasible that really would have been. But regardless, it absolutely would have been better. You know, when you think of, I'm spending $350 plus tax on an action figure, and I have to wait a year to get it. You want the top quality of anything. So ratcheting knees, deep ratcheting knees, upper and lower. You know, of course, yes, should have been the case. But again, you know, looking at mine's not falling down. Not falling down. It's good. So hopefully you guys all have the same with mine. It's not an issue. But some of the other folks on the international market, so Alexius Lim, Deviant Art, I think on Instagram, he's the one that has the video, the infamous video now that everybody's watching. And he's just, the legs are falling like crazy. In a message I had chatted with him, and he had said that his lower knees doesn't have ratcheting at all. That sucks. I don't know what the deal with that was, why some didn't have the ratcheting and mine has a little bit of that ratcheting in there. That sucks for the ones that didn't. And you know, I believe he's in Singapore. I think that's where he is. So it sucks for, you know, anyone on the international markets where that's what they got. Hopefully that's not the case for all of them. Hopefully, if anything, it's a small batch. He opened multiple Sentinels. I think he had like 21. So he opened multiple Sentinels, and multiple ones had that issue. So far, a few folks that I know of that have gotten this, they don't really have that lower knee problem, but it is on the upper knee. And then I think he had it, like somebody had it, their Sentinel standing on a couch, right? And it would kind of lean back. And what's going to happen is if your Sentinel's leaning back, of course it's going to want to go back. That's gravity on a heavy-ass figure. That's not, I don't consider that an issue. But posability, trying to get it into a certain photograph or something like that, that's going to be a challenge. I'll openly admit that. The figure was $350. Was it worth it? I think it was, regardless of the knee issue. For me, and everyone's collecting, you know, their display, their habits, everything's going to be different for everyone. For me, it's not an issue. I'm not going to be like posing it around in some crazy pose with all kinds of X-Men coming in and everything like that. So it's really not a problem for me. So hopefully for you guys can see the value in this thing because it's incredible. I mean, the head sculpts, we get 4 different head sculpts. The Tri-Sentinel head sculpt is pretty damn awesome. The light up feature is cool. I love the battle damage. So you can have a display with like your X-Men, right? And you don't even have to have the Sentinels in that display. You could do some kind of picture, right, where you have a Sentinel head just chilling on the ground with a busted ass hand, and you could tell that they were just in an epic battle. And then I'm sure some folks can do some awesome things with some photography that way. But, you know, I've been rambling on. I tried to do the best video that I could. It was frustrating and challenging at times. But you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of the HasLab Sentinel. I know a lot of folks haven't gotten a tracking number, haven't received any information yet. Hopefully you guys will all get yours soon. If you guys watch this video and you're still waiting for your Sentinel, you guys let me know. I'm curious to know what you guys think of the knee issue or not an issue, depending on, you know, how yours comes out. Does this review make you regret getting the Sentinel, or does this review make it so you regret not getting the Sentinel? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys liked the video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so. As always, thank you for watching, and here the Sentinel as I light it up, and the lights are probably too bright, you can't even tell. But seriously guys, thank you for watching. Let me know if you guys thought the video was crap too, because it was hard. Please go easy on me. Thanks guys.